Hello, I'm Logan from Augurium.
I'm Taylor.
I'm CJ.
Oh yeah. Thanks for sitting down with us, guys.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right on. So before we talk about anything about the band, let's talk about your latest release.
So Augurium was actually on an indefinite hiatus, quote unquote,
Right.
for a couple years, I think from 2019 to 2021. And essentially, before this album was even concocted, me and Logan were just like, hey, I miss Augurium, you know? So we started talking. We actually started to re-record one of our last album's songs. It never came to light. That was garbage.
But it got the ball rolling.
Yeah, it got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
You know, so we messed around with that, and then we're like, you know what? Let's try something. And, you know, that's how the first couple songs started to become written. Honestly, it was weird because it felt like for me personally, there was always an aspect that was missing since we killed the band, and it didn't matter what we did because we tried to do a couple projects prior, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Nothing was the same, and the fact that we both, I would say, mutually agreed that we were missing something, it kind of spawned the idea. You know what? Let's try this out. Let's just see how it works. And I think for a couple months of early 2021, we just were kind of remotely writing, and occasionally would meet up and play these stuff, and that's kind of how the ball got rolling. At least in my opinion, that's how it got rolling. And then it kind of blossomed into Yanni, our vocalist, joining the band, and then we tried to get a couple people in town, like Saskatchewan wise, and that did not pan out.
Right, because Taylor's located in BC, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we tried people locally, and unfortunately, you know, no one could commit to what we were trying to do.
Right.
And so we decided to outsource. And that's where
you got this handsome fella.
Yeah, exactly. Look at his new haircut. Isn't it nice?
Well, I've seen his haircut.
Oh, I know. Exactly. It gives me Dukes of Hazzard vibes a little bit.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the question. That's where I kind of thought of Taylor. I'm like, why don't we see if we can get him to at least do drums? Like that's what the initial question was.
Had you seen him perform?
Yeah. So the history of
what inspired you to bring Taylor on board? Since we're talking about this sexy fucking dude.
The haircut sold it. I was like, the hair. Oh. So initially, what kind of inspired that for me personally is back in 2018, we actually played a show with him and his band called Death Machine.
Oh, so good though.
Kelowna, sorry, not Vancouver, Kelowna. Yeah. So that's where I first met him.
How was the creative writing process for this album, and how long did you guys work on kind of honing your sound and you know, perfecting what you were doing before you started recording the album? How long did you guys spend working on the album before you actually went into the studio?
In regards to the actual sound we currently have, Logan is a very melodic player, and he brought that kind of sound to the fold. Like I always wanted to be that kind of symphonic, like Septic Flesh, stuff like that. Like I love that.
When did Logan join the band?
He joined, what was it, August of 2018? Or is it? Yes. I believe you joined technically mid-tour, but you didn't play with us until October or November of 2018.
It was October.
Yeah, Screamfest.
Yeah.
So he initially, we always wanted this kind of symphonic kind of sound.
Every move that you're making is being recorded.
Oh, probably. I believe it. Whoops. Okay. I fidget when I talk. Whoops.
No, you're good.
I could jump on the table and just talk like this. You know, could I do that?
Lay it sideways.
Am I allowed to do that?
You can do whatever you want.
Am I allowed to do that?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, so anyways, this better not be part of the actual official release thing. So that
it's definitely going to be in there.
Please include it. We still need to bring some of those ham shenanigans to light. Anyways,
like cooked ham?
No. He is the ham.
We're bringing alcohol and ham to this, boys. All right, that's all I gotta say.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a clip of him saying that from fucking 5 years ago, and when we talk about this, you have to like just throw it.
Yeah, send it to me,
please.
Yeah,
like I will give you $50 to do it right now.
We gotta bring alcohol and ham to this.
Anyways, we would Skype all the time. Just initially, me teaching him the set because like we didn't have tabs, we had nothing. So I was like note for note teaching him it, and then he started showing me his own riffs.
I believe that if you can look back at your work from like 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you still feel like that was some of your best, then you're in the wrong place.
right. It's
I think you should constantly feel a little bit of like embarrassment as to like, oh, this was bad, this was rough, that's a great sign. If you feel that, you're onto something.
It's like that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've like, even myself, I've made a lot of songs and little things for myself, and they are terrible. They're dog shit. So I'm glad to listen to them now and to feel that, to go like, oh yeah, that means I'm moving forward.
I've improved.
I've improved. I've progressed. And if you're looking back at the last 5 years and you're like, wow, this is pretty good, it's like, oh wait, that means I haven't made enough moves. Hey, like I'm staying where I am. I gotta push forward. Yeah. But like back to what we were saying, basically you guys have been working on songs for quite a while, creating a bit of like a arsenal for us. And then when I was asked to join, it was really being asked to fill in for drums for the recording of an album. And shortly after being asked to record drums for an album, I was once again asked, hey, so if you're recording drums for the album, how would you want to play live? Once again, same answer. I was like, yeah, sure, man, let's do it. And it just kept spiraling forward until I was actually like a core member and helping contribute with like financially and everything else, like driving force of what we were doing. And it was like for me, for my projects and everything else, this was a back burner project. This was something that I didn't need to be hands-on or to like basically manage like full time. This was something that was like little homework assignments. When I had free time, I would write drums for it.
Right.
Didn't require a lot of energy, but it was definitely something I would have to carve out time for, and you know make sure that I produced something that I was genuinely proud of, that the guys would be happy with, that matched the kind of music that we're writing. And it was only when we decided, fuck this, we're going to go tour, we're going to release this album, we're going to make shit happen. That's when it was all boots on the ground, no fucking around. We like finished this album. Like I submitted all my drum tracks and made sure everything was crystal clear. And then we just, went full speed ahead to make sure that everything was perfect so we can have tangible, full finished albums by the time we hit the road. And honestly, considering all that we did, it was pretty fucking badass.
The question I wanted to ask you, you were in 3 different groups right now?
That's correct. Yeah.
So how do you manage, this is a question specifically for you, how do you manage that time? How do you work with 3 different groups at the same time?
Barely.
Yeah, because I've seen like I follow you on Instagram, so I've seen you in the studio, I've seen you on tour, and it seems like to me you are like me, constantly working.
Exactly.
So how do you manage that time? How do you dedicate, you got 3 different groups. How do you give each of them the same amount of energy?
So one thing that I noticed was as soon as I had songs learned and I've put in like however many hours to having like this material just like under muscle memory, I can be able to let it go and move on to the next thing. And kind of like the best way I can describe it would be like school, how you have like different assignments, different quizzes and tests coming up. That's how I prioritize my time. Okay. Is like if I have a concert in a month, but I have a show with one band this weekend, I'm going to practice the fuck out of that for this weekend. And then once that's done, and I'll completely forget about it. In fact, I might even like forget some of the material by the time I have to get back to it again. So just like I balance it as it comes up in priorities, prioritizing what needs to be done and just getting after what's coming next.
So it's probably pretty cool to see pictures and videos from your shows like months later when you're like, oh fuck, I did play that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I forget like just how much I do or how busy I get. But there was like August was definitely the busiest I've been as a drummer because that was when we were doing our tour. So I had to make sure everything was perfect for that. But I technically played in 5 bands that 1 month. And
right, because you do a lot of session work and, you fill in on tours and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
You're always busy.
It was...
It's pretty hot, dude.
Yeah. My ego's inflating right now. Yes.
That's not all that's inflating. The table just starts rising.
Yeah. So...
We're talking about penises.
We're talking about penises in case it wasn't clear enough. Thanks guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. It was definitely tricky, but honestly, looking back, it was so worth it. I wasn't sure if I was able to pull through, but then I just, doing something that you love, it makes it easy. Every day was booked up. Every day was full. I didn't have a weekend to myself, and if I did, I still wouldn't sit still. It was a good moment. It was a proud moment. After playing in all the different bands and then going on tour for a week and a half and then finally seeing the results of what we've been cultivating for the last 2 years, it was that was a level of pride I still chase,
kind of leading into what you're talking about there. You have multiple members that are out of province. So how do you guys work with each other to connect, to write, to record?
Remotely.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how we do it. And it's not fucking easy. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
We would Skype, we would Facebook call, we would send files over email, and that's how we've done it throughout this whole process. The whole creation, the whole rendition of this album, mixing, mastering, everything.
If you had to give a piece of advice to a musician, or if you were to tell me about the best piece of advice that you've received as a musician, what would that be?
The best word of advice I can give is just grind, put your heart into it, and just be organized. There's nothing more critical than organization when it comes to like booking a tour, because if you're not organized, everything's gonna shit the bed.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. So releases, press release, shows, even down to organizing merch and keeping track of your actual merchandise sales, anything. It's organization. That's probably the biggest thing for myself personally.
So from what I've researched, the majority of the members from your previous band, they have all had a tenure in this band.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, how has that had an influence on the current group as it stands and the music that you guys produce now?
That was, as of today, 9 years ago, which blows my mind to say. That was my first serious, quote unquote, and again, high school level serious. So obviously we're just kids.
Right.
That's a very good question, because there's a huge influence, because that's probably my initial starting point that has the biggest influence on anything I do in a band currently. Learning points. I learned how to play in key. I learned, hey, this stuff matters, and just going back to Logan, he's a metronome Nazi. Very thankful for that, because my playing over the years has tenfold improved, and he's not wrong. That shit matters. So it's just, it's heavily influenced everything I do now. Because I learned how to book shows. I learned how to do socials, advertising, all that jazz. Scyther had a very, very, very huge aspect. Not to mention how to just treat your band members.
What is the wildest or strangest or most obscure thing that you have ever seen at a live show or ever been involved in? I think it's a really interesting question.
So this big dude, okay, we'll put big generously.
Just for the record, he's supported and it's great.
Yeah, great guy, but really coked out, and decides to jump up on stage, and jumped.
Oh yeah! Holy fuck!
He doesn't know when to shut up. I'm so sorry. He jumps off the stage, proceeds to break his ankle, continue to mosh, and that's when Taylor can kind of.
But basically, yeah. So he's just really fucked up. One of those, that guy, right? He was just really fucked up, really big dude, just, not really there. While he was physically there, he wasn't mentally there.
No.
And Yeah, so like we finally finished our show, and we get people coming up and like showing their support, and we're very grateful and thankful for people that actually show up and buy our merch and everything. But I think there's also a line to when you gotta like be mindful of the other human being that you're actually talking to when because we're here, we're conducting a business. We're trying to be professional. We're trying to, supply our service with our music and our merchandise.
Because it is a business.
It is a business. Yeah. And let's just say this customer didn't know.
I will spit my beer out when you said customer.
Yeah.
Like you're in a retail store.
Yeah. We didn't know how to
this one client.
And let's just say if it was a retail store, we didn't know how
security.
Yeah, we didn't have security. Exactly.
There was no security.
We didn't know how to kick him out. We were basically like, "Sir, please stop doing what you're doing right now." But basically there was this whole moment where he was telling us how he was buying our shirts. I bought 2 of your shirts. It was like, awesome, man. We really appreciate you coming out. I'm gonna change right in front of you right now. And no shit. And like he takes off his shirt. And as he's taking off his shirt, he looks me dead in the fucking eyes, into my soul, and says, "You look in my belly while you suck my cock." You want to talk about trauma? Right there. I had to endure that whole procedure for like a good 5-10 minutes straight of just him existing, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah, you right on, yeah. All right, who's in? Like tapping out to like whoever can fucking deal with him next, and like by the end of the night, CJ was fucking goated with the sauce for being able to handle that shit for the longest time. But
to be fair, it was my birthday and he bought me alcohol, so I endured it for that cost alone.
He's a bit of a white girl, so it's okay.
Yeah,
fucking white girl wasted.
Yeah, you were. A little bit.
He definitely like spent a lot of money like in support of us and then like buying our merch and all that. But like where he was at with breaking his ankle, still walking on it somehow, just high as fuck. He was telling us
drugs are a hell of a drug.
Yeah, drugs are a hell of a drug.
I remember that specifically because we're like, dude, do we need to take you to a hospital or something? He's like, no, I need more drugs.
I'm good.
Yeah, he talked about how he just needed more drugs, and we're like, okay, please don't drive home tonight. Like, good God. So that's a good one. That's a wild one.
We got hammered as fuck after the show. We went to McDonald's. We ordered, I believe, like 50 McDoubles.
Okay, that's an excessive amount of McDoubles.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous, man. But
5-0.
5-0. Here's the kicker, though.
It's an excessive amount.
I don't remember anything of that night. I'm going off of memory or reference of what I can see. The aftermath, the morning after in the van.
Pictures and receipts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going off of that. I woke up in the morning and there was McDouble wrappers all over me. I'm talking like in places that a wrapper shouldn't be. I'm not implying they were in my anus, just for the record. But
anywhere but.
Anywhere but the butt. So there was McDouble wrappers all over the van. Everyone's passed out. I wake up. I'm like, I feel like shit. There's a lot of McDoubles or McDouble wrappers, and I'm hungry now, and there's no McDoubles left. So that happened. There was also a McDonald's tray. And I'm not going to try and get up during the interview here, but it's on my wall right now. And there's signatures all over it because they've become a tour memorabilia. And the story behind that I was told later that day is we nearly got into legal trouble to keep that fucking tray. Because there was cops in the drive-thru when we tried to walk away with that tray. And they got mad at us. Yeah, it's very fucked, but it currently sits on my wall, and it has been for the last 4 or 5 years. Nice. And am I allowed to like walk and go get this?
Sure, go for it. All right, so it's just Taylor and I.
Just Taylor and Tyler. Taylor and Tyler time.
Taylor and Tyler time.
I would say
We should really start a show.
that would be
called
amazing. Taylor and Tyler time.
That would
Hell
be
yeah.
sick. Yeah.
We'd really just like shoot the shit and talk about drums and
I'm here for it.
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
We'll both say fuck yeah at the same time.
Fuck yeah, exactly. There you go. Fuck yeah. Now that I had time to think about it, it was on the Cross Canada Sun Eater tour, and I don't remember exactly which city it was, but it was somewhere in Ontario, and I had witnessed our best audience member, and it was a guy, I don't know if he was actually disabled in any way, but he was actually on like a mobile scooter, and because I think about it, he was actually standing up while on this little scooter thing, and there was just like so many points where he's just like, he was literally doing fucking like, he was doing a whole circle pits with this scooter. He was riding up to the front and then just like screaming, shouting, he jumped up and it's like just like going all around.
The actual definition of a rascal.
Exactly. I've never in my life seen a scooter in a mosh pit in a fucking live venue setting.
That's wild.
So that one, like, I couldn't take my eyes off of. I just like was just zoned into what he was doing because it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Were you performing while he was doing it?
Yes,
That's
exactly.
wild. I don't think I would have been able to keep it together for that.
It was just like the whole time I'm playing, I'm looking at the other guys like, what the fuck is that? What? Like, are you seeing this shit? Like,
that's wild.
Yeah, man. It was just like something I still hold with me. It just doesn't make sense. And I figured, why make it make sense? Just enjoy it.
I know that was a long interlude, but speaking back, that's a McDonald's tray. The quote of that tour was "fuck Burger King."
Okay.
All we ate on the Met tour was McDonald's.
Man.
And I've never looked at it the same. It's still it was garbage before, but it's even more garbage now. Look at the dad stash on this guy. Taylor, show them your stash.
Dad stash.
Look at that. Look at that stash.
Riz face going, baby. Get that Riz face going.
Let's say you guys had the opportunity where you got an opportunity where you could play anywhere in the world. You had the money, you had the support, you had everything you could ever dream of. What is where is the one place in the world that you guys would want to play?
You want to say it at the same time? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Europe.
Wow, that did not.
Yeah,
that was not a 1, 2, 3.
Can I just be specific about Europe though?
Sure. Yeah.
Fucking Rome, dude.
Okay.
That's my specific.
I was
spot.
gonna be more specific, and I was gonna say fucking Vakken. But that's just me.
I mean, that's a festival. I understand.
No,
that.
that's what I was gonna say. Specific.
So
specifically, Rome is to me like the birthplace of a lot of things.
Dude,
right?
if you play in Rome, you have to take me.
Of course, man.
So why Rome?
I don't know. There's something. I love Italy. I went to Italy for my graduation trip.
Okay.
I love Italy. I love Venice, all those places. But Rome is just like, to me, it's like there was so much amazing things that happened in Italy and Rome, philosophy, music, all of that stuff happened there, right? It's like you look at a lot of stuff throughout classical music, even a lot of it came from there. All of the language of music is Italian, right? When you think about arpeggio, all of those different words that we use in music all the time, it's all Italian. I would love to just visit Italy again in general, but to play a show there and to play a show with like Flesh God Apocalypse. The Septic Flesh is from Greece, by the way.
I know,
but Flesh God Apocalypse in particular would be amazing because those Italian fuckers are not only beautiful but extremely talented.
If you guys had to give a shout out to any local musicians or any local artists that you think deserve it, what are some bands that inspire you or that, you know, you think deserve a little bit of spotlight?
Untimely Demise. They're from Saskatoon. The reasoning for me stating that is they were one of the first actual local quote unquote bands that I saw, and not only have I developed great friendships with them over the years, but like just I've learned a lot about A, being a musician, B, being in a band, and just how to carry myself. Mm-hmm. Untimely Demise for Sask for me, and then just Path to Extinction in Alberta, Calgary. They're just nuts people, and Curtis is a homie and like literally a nasty frontman, and he's got like the best stage banter. Like
I remember for me it was Into Eternity because it's like they're from Saskatchewan.
Right.
they played with fucking Megadeth.
That exactly. That's
Megadeth.
exactly. That's the thing. It's like these guys are from where I'm from. they're doing this. That means that I can do this. I remember when I was 13 and I first started playing guitar, it's like I didn't think that was a thing, right? I don't know why, but somehow my stupid teenage brain just couldn't comprehend that every band you see up there that you love was once a local band, right? Yeah. And the fact that they were signed to like Century Media and all of that. Definitely like local, it was them and Rathid. I know Rathid isn't around anymore. Right. Rathid was awesome. One of their guitar players and I went to the same music teacher. He gave me their CD and that's how I found out about them. Thought that was rad, went to some of their shows. They were awesome. So those are the two that I would say that are in the Canadian scene that I knew about when I was young.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I'll definitely spotlight some of the bands in Kelowna that helped me become who I am today, really. The first one would definitely be Omnia Nihil, formerly known as Apollyon. They were I know, right? Bringing it back, yeah.
The reason I'm laughing is because I used to play in a band called Apollyon as well.
Yeah. Many people, many Apollyons out there.
Now
there's only legally one. Apollyon, Omnia Nihil, they were the first local band that I got to see, and they all played a very huge contribution into, showing us the ropes and showing us who we should contact for artwork, for recording, they were basically like our big brothers with me and Death Machine, like my first band that like basically got this entire ball rolling. They're very supportive, and I've even like had the honor of being able to like play shows with them when their drummer had to step down or step out. It was all great experiences, great people. And what inspired them and like what kind of like put Kelowna on the map was this Zool, a band of right. Local legends. I still spend time with them whenever they're in town. They're based in Vernon, so I'd see them occasionally, and they definitely like put Kelowna on the map. They like paved the way for a lot of bands from afterwards. There's still Wicked band. They're actually jamming again, so there's hope that they'll produce new music, which I'm really stoked about.
Fuck yeah.
And if I am to put a shout out to a new up-and-coming band that's making some big moves and, in fact, probably just going to take the local scene by storm is this band Floodgate of newly graduated high schoolers with nice equipment and solid stage presence. Their banter, their jokes, their everything is, like, phenomenal. They're hilarious. They've got little, fun gimmicks that they'll pull. Like, they actually pulled out a Beyblade like thing in the pit. That's something I've always wanted to do, and they fucking did it. Like, I'm actually so goddamn proud of them. They've been making big moves, and they're not holding back. They're not slowing down for nothing, and I know that they're going to go some big places, and I can't wait to see it. So check out Floodgate. They just dropped an album.
So one final question here. Are you circed or uncirced?
Yes, I knew this was gonna come out.
Baby, I just gotta say, as a member of the Cirque community, and Taylor, are you?
Mm-hmm. You're goddamn right.
As a member of the Cirque community, and I am representing the other members of this band, I believe our vocalist Yanni is circed. The only one that isn't is CJ here. He is a poor soul with a little bit of Rumpelstiltskin on the tip.
You are incorrect, actually.
Actually, am I incorrect?
You are incorrect.
I thought you weren't circed.
You are fucked. Whoa. You are 8 inches of fucked. Fucked and fucked. Get your shit ready, bro.
Christ.
I think maybe Yanni might be the hooded one. Then I don't know. Someone's
maybe Reed. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe no. Reed's definitely unhooded. He's definitely been unmasked.
I feel like we are doing a great unservice by excluding.
Would you like me to phone our vocalist?
We are excluding someone in the other room.
Hold on a second. Aaron, could you come here for a minute?
We need to know.
Aaron, we need to know. Do you have a hooded menace or not?
Aaron, I'm a proud member of the Cirque community. I would like to stand tall.
Yes, sir! Yeah. I mean, should we phone Yanni?
No, he's.
Oh yeah, he's at work. Okay, phone Rito quick. Phone Rito. Let's ask him. Yeah, let's phone Rito. Come on, somebody get Rito on the horn here. Let's get Rito on the horn here. Hey, Reed.
We have a question for you.
We have a question for you, bud.
Are you circed or uncirced?
Oh, un.
He is the only hooded menace in the band, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, we're doing an interview.
Oh, cool.
Like right now.
Like right now, you are being filmed and recorded.
We just had to do a check on who's circumcised and who isn't. So thank you for that, Reed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Reed. Okay, bye.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, now you know who the hooded menace is of the band. We are all part of the Cirque community. What is this? This has been Crate Diving. We have been Augurium. Thank you so much. Good night! Good night!